Camera one rolling. So rolling.
Falling in love with the industry is very early in the life, but it's re-falling in love with the industry along the ways of your journey, really, which was a big thing for me. It's a lot of stress, but I love it. Would not change it for the world. Michelin is here. Good food guide here.
Who are you without the titles and the accolades?
Who am I without the titles and the accolades? I'm Nelly Robinson. I'm a husband, I'm a father. I love my family to bits, my wife and my little girl Lottie. I've got 3 French bulldogs, so I'm obsessed with them, obviously. So yeah, I'm just a normal person, and I think when you get past the chef in Nelly Robinson, is a very kind, warm-hearted young man, but has got real ambition in life, and that's where it drives me every day. But in family life, I'm a caring young man, and my wife might say I'm a little bit lazy at home, but that's fine because I work hard at work.
What was the exact moment that you made fall in love with food or hospitality?
I think the first time I fell in love with food was when I saw guests' faces in the restaurant at Northcote, and when food is delivered on a plate, for me, it's something of a magical moment when a guest puts something in their mouth and goes, oh my eyes, that is, wow, that's amazing. In this restaurant, I was falling in love with the first moment of opening it, and for me, again, for people walking up them stairs and not being able to do and cook what we do on this plate is a big thing for me. It's a magical moment in life. It's great for anniversaries, birthdays, but also moments in life that they will remember. And we want people talking about the food 2-3 days after they've been, 6 months after they've been, because we want them to rebook and come back. So that's why we change the menu all the time. So for me, falling in love with the industry is very early in the life, but it's re-falling in love with the industry along the ways of your journey, really, which was a big thing for me. And there's moments when I've fallen out of love with the industry as well. You know, there's times when it's been tough. I've been working in kitchens that have been tough. And sometimes you've got to take a step back and really have a bit of time to yourself.
What's your take on Michelin versus good food?
Do you want my honest opinion? Michelin is here, good food guide here. I can't get my head around certain restaurants. They give 2 hats that have really put so much effort into fine dining and into the loving the craft, but then they give a 2 hat to a shared restaurant that serves steak. Michelin has a standard. It's a world standard. We don't have it in Australia, which is ridiculous, I'm going to say first and foremost. The rest of the world has this standard, and you have to stick to a standard. So that standard flows into the staff, it flows into the front of house, the back of house, the guest. The guest expects standards when they walk into that restaurant. Having that as an upbringing, that is what you crave and that's what you want. So I try and bring them standards in here as much as we possibly can. For us, we cannot wait if Michelin come into Australia, because we think it will change as well. They change the mentality of Australia. It's going into New Zealand. They're already excited over in New Zealand. So we want that vibrance and that love to come into Australia. So it was a moment in life that you naturally get, you know what I mean? I've never known anything different. That's the other thing, is that standard. I've always worked in Michelin-starred restaurants. That standard's always been there. I've never known anything different until I come to Australia.
How did you start NEL restaurant and what was the spark?
Yeah, so I was 28. I'd moved to Hong Kong to go and work in Hong Kong. Things didn't work out in Hong Kong. It was, again, probably immaturity and thinking you can take the world on. But we went there and opened a couple of restaurants and things didn't quite work out. So I went back to the UK for 5 months and then came back to Australia. And I was on the plane back from the UK and something hit me. There was nowhere exciting for me to go and work at in Sydney. I wanted to live in Sydney. So I said, okay, I'll go and do it myself. So I went and we got a loan and literally had enough money to find a spot that you can see behind us. And we had I think it's $200,000 to build a restaurant. I managed to get my landlord at the time, who are still good friends of mine now, Alex and Reese. And they put in the stairwell, they put in the toilets, which actually were there originally, and all the exhaust pipes, because it's the most expensive things that you can't take with you when you leave the restaurant. The rest of it we fitted out, but what you see now is not what it looked like. And then over years we've just continued adding and giving it a refacelift, and to where we are right now, I'm very, very happy with it. It's exactly what I imagined it could have been right at the beginning, but that's 11 years later. Things take time.
What was the inspiration behind it?
The inspiration was to see a gap in the market. At the time, even to this day, storytelling and I'd say love of stories that I love onto a plate was not happening in Australia. We could see very much there was a few degustation restaurants in Australia at the time, but we saw a gap in the market and we went for it. And I think we're still a storytelling restaurant that we've always been, but in a different markup. But for me, it's trying to give something different to a guest. You know, there's plenty of restaurants that can serve unbelievable casual. You could put a piece of swordfish on a plate with a sauce, or a piece of steak, which, you know, is okay. It's a lovely piece of steak. It's not going to wow everybody, is it? You know, so we needed to come up with a creation in a restaurant that would keep, one, returning guests. We need guests to return, so changing that menu all the time would bring guests back. Number two, something they can't do at home. Everybody can cook a steak at home, but we want it to be a wow factor. So doing the way that we do in a 12-course degustation with stories behind it and little cards that we add to the tables and just little details are things that people remember. And three, we want people to come and have a bloody good time as well. You know, they come in here, they sit in the chair, they get the stories and the food, but also the cocktails are in the theme of the menu, the music's in the theme of the menu. It's also very relaxed. The staff are very personable, the staff are behind. That's why we've got this theatre show going on in there. And good old Willy Wonka, because I've never grown up, you know. So we have these little extras that you get and layers at NEL that for me are different to a lot of restaurants, not just in Sydney but in Australia.
So what was the most memorable in the weeds moment on your journey that you'll never forget?
What does that mean, in the weeds? What do you mean by that?
Like
in the shit?
yes.
You can pop that in. Yeah, in the shit. Looking back in the early career, not knowing ingredients and what goes well and what pairs well together, so the confusing parts of that, not understanding ingredients as well, so you know, you're getting shouted at for things that you don't understand, which is hard. I think in kitchens, on services, again, when you're on a section for the first time and looking at you know, trying to progress up the ladder and the chain, and with that, you know, not understanding again and being mature enough in there to be able to then run a section, so you go down on service a little bit, something like that. I think opening this place in 2015, again, I was a 29-year-old boy, I would like to say, immature, not understanding how to run a restaurant, thinking you open a restaurant and it's fine, it's going to be okay. I think then learning that you've got to work extremely hard to be able to get bums on seats and also look after staff and different challenges like that. So I'd say in the weeds moment is things like that, which you're learning along the way of your journey. I'm still learning now, I'm 40 now and I'm still learning. So yeah, it's exciting, still learning, and you can never ever think to yourself you know it all, you know. So it's been a great journey so far.
It's like the first times of everything.
First times is everything. As everything in life, the first time is always the best.
Yeah.
Was there any moment that you think that it wouldn't work?
Every day. I still get butterflies now, and that is because I'm driven. I don't want to fail. The hard work you put in every year and every day drives me to make sure that the restaurant is still to the standard that you are putting every day. And that is because in the back of your mind, you don't want to fail. You don't want to fail for these guys. You don't want to fail for your front of house. We've got people's sponsorship attached to this business. If it fails, they have nowhere to work. They have no sponsorship. So that drives me every day to make sure that my staff get the best treatment that they can, but also the guests get the best treatment. And we're always evolving. We're always evolving in what we can do, adding little touches all the time. And because, yes, I'm still only 40, I'm still driven and want to be the best. But I want to get Australian food, New Zealand food on the map more. And we're not on the map at the minute, and we need to be on it more.
What should young chefs focus on that they often overlook?
Young chefs need to be sponges. They need to learn more. They need to be able to come into a kitchen and soak it up. I've not seen a young chef for years and it's away from here walking around a kitchen. So if I go to a restaurant and see an open kitchen, I don't see young chefs walking around with a little pad in their pocket with a pen, writing down what should be happening. It just goes in this ear and out the other ear, and then the next week they'll be forgetting or something. So write down what's going on, recipes, make sure it's correct. Don't be scared to taste and get them taste buds correct. because they've got to learn from somebody else's taste buds. So our job for the young chefs is you're teaching them the taste buds. It's got to be correct. Is it too salty? Is it not too salty? Does it need acid? Does it need sweetness? Does it need this? So we're teaching young chefs that. So that's them being sponges to be able to understand that this is correct. But they've got to also ask. Got to ask for help. There's no embarrassment if a chef comes to me and says, "Chef, is this right?" There's nothing wrong with that. You actually get brownie points for actually asking. And I always say, if I'm running around or I'm busy or I'm doing something, just grab a spoon and put it in my mouth, right? And I'll taste it and I can tell straight away if it's correct. But if I like it, if Gavin likes it, and if Leonard likes it, customer usually 98% of the time doing I like it. So that's the best advice I can give people is just don't be scared.
After 11 years, what is the biggest lessons of running a business? Obviously, it's totally different than being just a head chef.
Yeah, I think when you're a head chef, you think about your ordering, you think about your processes of recipes, and you think of all that stuff, and the service. You're always thinking about service and that. When you're running a business, you're thinking about bills, payments, staff's problems. You need to speak to people about problems. Guests, are the guests happy? So if a guest comes in and gives you a 1-star review, it doesn't hit them as much as it hits me. I feel failure or I feel upset. Why have they been upset? Even 11 years on, it hits me. It's personal. So yeah, so running a business is completely different. It's a as you put it before, it's an 8-day week operation, running a business 24 hours a day. And that is completely true. Me and my wife will be eating dinner on a Sunday, and all of a sudden something will come through and you're like, oh, well, we have to answer that, or we have to do that, or we have to, we run events or whatever. It's all involved in it. So it is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week operation to run your own business. And if you're not mentally prepared to do that, you can't do it. A lot of sacrifice. I saw my daughter last week for 4 hours, from Monday to Saturday. Saw her all day Sunday. For 4 hours I saw her. So that sacrifice also doesn't just touch you, it's your family as well. My wife runs the family home, plus trying to run business. I'm trying to run business and 2 restaurants and trying to make people happy as well. It's a lot of stress, but I love it. Would not change it for the world.